time, your gateway to the world. AFR! American Freedom Radio. Give it to them.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Happy Thursday. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight. Soul Journeys Radio on AmericanFreedomRadio.com. It is Thursday and back to regular schedule this week. So that means we are joined by St. Toby One Kenobi. And a big topic tonight, spiritual energetic awakening. Is it a blessing or curse? What happens when the Kundalini, the natural energies, the Holy Spirit, or whatever you want to call it, start awakening in a human being? Why am I seeing angels, demons, and spirits? And where the hell is the off button, please? Can you open your energies too soon? And why does the energy awakening happen out of the blue? For some people, we're going to be talking about this and more here tonight. So if you'd like to join us on the text chat, that's over at souljourneysradio.com. Any questions or comments, the number is 218-339-8525. That's 218-339-8525. Tobias Lars is a personal awakening coach and the author of Listening to the Sun and Awakening Souls, which you can find at his website, soulcounseling.com, and spiritualtravelers.com. He's got a lot going on, and if for some crazy reason you just happen to be in Arizona and New Mexico and want to go hang out with the Woofies this weekend, go check it out. That's spiritualtravelers.com. But it is so good to have you here tonight, live from Sedona. How you doing tonight, Tobias?
I'm doing great. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Good. Got a new headset. I wore out the other one.
Ah, good job.
It's because I had to get the learn to operate that mute button. I finally worn out the mute button. So it doesn't.
Mute button. I like this headset better, though, because it kept you from interrupting the entire intro. Woohoo!
Okay.
Go ahead.
We have issues. We need to talk about this later.
We could just do it on the show like we do every week.
Sure. Why not? We're having a baby. We have sex. We hate each other. We love each other. Yeah, sure.
Oh, wait. I think our baby's due. When is our baby due, by the way? Do you know?
I have to talk to alien headquarters and see what the timeline is.
Well, because it was like December, January. You know what? It's due on my birthday. I'm going to have a baby this weekend. Yeah, that's it. And Toby is the what do you say, the baby daddy?
The instigator.
That too. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Could you imagine a world where we had conscious invitation? What would it look like or be like if we had conscious invitation for other souls to join us in a particular dimension or habitat or planet, instead of the unconscious sexuality that we do as humans mostly today? Very few people, not very few, but it's not considered normal to actually know when pregnancy occurs. We think it's unconscious, you know? So could we imagine you could actually talk to the other souls and go, who is it that's wanting to be incarnated? I feel, and there's a resonance or family history or this is appropriate. Imagine conscious baby making instead of, oops, I'm pregnant, better go buy one of them tests at the CVS drugstore.
Not again.
Right? That's really the natural state in many, many different arenas and areas, but that would be one of them where the man would consciously be able to say, yes, I want a baby or not, and the woman as well. Everyone has to agree. It's not subconscious, unconscious, karmic, happenstance. So to reach those places, so for example, conscious invitation to other souls to become parents, we have to awaken again. And this is not just theory. It's actual energetic Kundalini, Holy Ghost, holy bleep awakening, right? And we're going to talk, that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. I had a client this week that is really going through a major spiritual Kundalini energetic awakening. And it happened to me also a number of years ago. And with the work I do, soul counseling, working with people, I run across this a lot. And often a comment from the people I work with is, oh my God, I feel so much better just that I'm not the only one. A lot of time people feel very lonely in this process, even if they go to spiritual groups. They go to attend the local meetup circle of inviting someone, that says all the right words. But when they get there, they realize many of what the energy is still just yakety yak yak. Like when I went to a metaphysical association here in Sedona about 3-4 years ago, my little tender heart thought, surely these people in the Mecca of the world, or you could say spiritual awakening, and this is the Metaphysical Spiritual Association. I don't mean to pick on it, relax. Then I went there with, let's all actually practice what we preach and let's, have communion here. And they were all like, no, let's drink.
Let's get drunk. Why don't we get drunk and screw?
And do it in the road.
I'm a real, yeah, that one too.
Yeah, so, real spiritual awakening is not going to listening, and there's nothing wrong with any of this. When I was going to say going to listen to a channel who channels the Pleiadians or Bashar or somebody, go listen to Bashar bash in your head, you stupid humans. Listen up. No, I'm teasing. Bashar has awesome information.
He's great, yeah.
I love him. But notice that he's like the Dr. Phil of channeling. Right?
He's amazing how he can tell people just, you're freaking stupid, you know, and not get beat up. How does he get away with that? It's awesome.
Exactly, there you go. We as humans, I include myself, start asking our whiny question, which basically sounds like this all the time to the Ascended Masters. That's all what they sound like. So Bashar said, hey, shut up. Don't worry. No. What
He's
part
great.
of it? He's like the Cesar Millan of human training.
Yeah. Yep, it is. He's doing it great.
No. What? Stop your mind. Stop your mind.
Yeah. See, even you can't get away with that.
But so we've got a ways to go as humans because we're still going, most of us, right?
Yeah.
And whining, imagine if when from a Buddha state, Krishna state, an awakened state, and I've seen it in my life some, I've gone through a massive awakening. There are layers of awakening. Maybe there's a final enlightenment, but my sense of it is there really isn't. Jesus is dealing with his next paradigm right now. We might make up religionism in churches going, oh, he is perfected in the Father. No, he's still dealing with some of his own soul fragments and some of his own parts, truth be told. Now, I know that goes against doctrine, but who cares? This is the time for truth to be told. So as we move up, there are sort of graduations, if you will. For example, there's one graduation where you finally realize, oh, I don't really want to be right. I'd rather learn or awaken or grow. I don't want to defend anymore. That's a huge awakening for a soul. When they go into, okay, I'm a piece of God's source, and I'm tired of having an ego trying to defend my position all the time. It really is a lose-lose game when I operate from that place. So you could say that's enlightenment. That is an unenlightenment, one type of enlightenment. Then you could say there is a sexual chakra enlightenment when all of a sudden you realize, oh, my ego is not in that chakra. It does not want to own people. It does not want to limit it. It does not want to hide it. It is not run. My being is not run or controlled or unconscious in my orange sex procreation life gate chakra. And you feel no loss. You feel no lack. So there could be a spiritual awakening, and each chakra has to go through its awakening. And one of the big steps is from identity, the id. You know, that creepy little creature like Gollum? Basically, everyone has a Gollum inside themselves, you know? This creepy, pasty, selfish, icky, fearful, vengeful, sticky, pasty thing like from the Lord of the Rings. The Gollum is a perfect archetype representation of the id entity, our suppressed ego identity. So when we awaken out of that, some of those symptoms are no lack. There's no lack of anything. There's no hoarding. There's no wanting to own others. You really realize with your eyes, you finally really see, wow, I am sufficient unto myself. The source God of the life force, God, Father, Mother, all that is, the energy, the irrepressible, irascible, effervescing fountain of foreverness that exists at each of the 0 points of every one of my chakras is unlimited. How could I ever feel limited or worry if one soulmate says, I need to leave you now? You reach a place of love. If someone comes to Jesus and goes, or Babaji or Krishna and goes, I'm leaving you. Does Jesus go through a massive withdrawal and pain and suffering and get suicidal because my lover left me? No. Because they know that everyone is their soulmate. For example. And then you have soul groups and all that stuff too. So real spiritual awakening will kick your fucking ass. It will destroy your little myopic Gollum ego, that is whiny little bitch ego that we are as personalities. Now I'm being kind of harsh and direct there. At the same time knowing very well that it's a very painful, ego-crushing, tender process. You know, it is truly the dark night of the soul as this stuff starts happening, because you have no quarter, like the Led Zeppelin song says. There's no place you can hide, because God's source is everywhere. So anywhere your little slippery, slimy Gollum ego tries to hide in the dark, it will find you. So you can't run from it. You can't avoid it. Your soul has chosen to do this. You have chosen to do this. You want this. And while the shit is falling down around you, you're losing your job, your parents think you're crazy, you're driving yourself to the hospital to go, what the hell is wrong with me? I'm having a major, massive breakdown. I'm starting to see spirits, blah, blah, blah. I'm hearing voices. I'm feeling all these energies. My head is exploding. I'm dissolving. I feel dead. I feel absolutely hopeless. It's not worth living. And then the next day I'm like, oh my God, I just feel full of the universe. You become spiritually bipolar during this awakening. This is absolutely normal. And as I'm saying this, there will be people listening to this that will gain some comfort or understanding. You are not alone, but while we go through this awakening process, often we are quarantined. In a way, we isolate ourselves, just like when a wounded wolf crawls off into a den or a cave to heal itself. Because if you were around other people, your egos would all start colluding again and going, oh, we know what's happening to us. Yak, 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 bullshit, yak, yak, yak. Oh, what's happening? Oh, okay, we understand the process, which we humans love to avoid, throwing it into the void. We avoid the icky feelings. So you have to feel your solar plexus, feel your heart. You have to purge them energetically. And if you go into your ego mind and yak about it and theorize about it, go into theory land, which is a fate worse than having to spend a day at Disneyland, like I always say. Theory land sucks after a while, unless you are a complete mentally masturbating, egghead, talking head. So if you all got together while you're going through this process, you would talk yourselves out of the process.
Yes,
so
we will.
Yes, because, we understand what's going on. I'm going through the dark night of the soul, which means I don't actually have to feel my stuff. So your soul is wise enough to go, no, we're not doing that. So at times, and I've been through this, so I'm speaking from experience, and even though I'm speaking harshly and directly, I am taking a lesson from Bashar a little bit here. I will bash you a little bit about what goes on here on planet Earth. Now listen up. You will go through this process. You will come through out the other side. However, during the process, you will feel like you are being crushed by those walls you remember seeing in Star Wars. Remember the garbage pit in Star Wars? While you're being crushed, there's no way out. You will feel like this. However, this will not be the true reality, but in your smaller persona and your ego, this is how you will feel.
Good one, Tobias.
Yeah.
My God, you're cracking me up. Oh,
and Bashar, I will bash your ego sideways. Slap you sideways. Now shut up and listen.
We need it. We need it. I know I do. Man, do I let myself run away with myself, or I don't really know. I don't know who it is or who I am. Yes, I understand.
We do. And I'm not being harsh here. It is an excruciating process, a lonely process. That's why it's called the dark night of the soul. But this is, when you're purging the pipes, imagine you go into a house. I just turned on one of the faucets in our house today that we don't usually use because we have 3 bathrooms and double sinks and stuff.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifilan brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifilan. There's nothing else like Modifilan. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifilan banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
No rules. No rules. No taboo topics. No taboo topics. No fear of doom. No fear of doom. We are American Freedom Radio. American Freedom Radio.
A couple F words slipped out already, so it must be St. Toby One Kenobi. Oh, and no, it's okay. Just, you know what, just let it all hang out. We lost all our affiliates long ago. So fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. All right. Now we good to go. All right.
Welcome, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, I channel Bashar. I channel the channelers.
I channel Satan.
Hey, Satan needs a day in court too. If you're talking about oneness, then of course this is so scary for people. By the way, you know the number 666 really just means being comfortable with physicality, comfortable with materiality, comfortable with sexuality, comfortable with money, comfortable with all that. Now, of course, the church has had a problem with that, so it would have to leave. Every number is holy. 111, 1111, 222, 333, 444, 56. Of course they are. But when we're uncomfortable, what you're uncomfortable with is reflected in your language or in your superstition. So if we make up that 666 is somehow a bad number, is because we have judged a part of the creation. And believe me, I understand 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I would have been like, oh my God, that's so scary. I better go meditate immediately and do my yoga. And, I don't want anything to do with any of that stuff. Please protect me, angels. Lord Archangel Michael, protect me. And that is true during that phase. But during the union phase, the becoming one, going through the agonies of Christ, the crucifixion, which means crossroads, the cross, the crossing between dimensions, which is the dark night of the soul. But you could also say it's a shamanic initiation. You know, this is when you're initiating yourself into a larger self. Your higher self is downloading into you. And this is happening now for millions of people on the planet. It's going to happen more and more and more. I forget his name, but there's a movie out there called Awakening or The Awakening or something like that, about a young man from Georgia who lives in New York, and all of a sudden one night, after his good friend sends him a ball of light, like from his heart to each other's hearts, he starts seeing dimensional opening. He starts seeing the spirits, angels, demons. He sees a motorcycle come in through the ethers and crash the day after his friend dies in a motorcycle accident. Oprah had him on her Soul Sunday thing. I forget his name. Josh or Joel. I'm not sure that's right, but it's called Awakening or Awakening, something like that, The Awakening. Beautiful movie. You can get it on Netflix. But he started freaking out. All of a sudden I'm seeing angels, demons. They're talking to me, spirits, energies. I'm hearing voices. And the movie is following him on his journey to try to figure out what's going on. It's going to be very discombobulating. It's going to be a bit dissolving. For those people that have done entheogens or ayahuasca or ibogaine or LSD or, some psychedelics, you know that it's a liquid universe. But for people that have never experienced that, and then it starts happening in their everyday reality, people are going to think they're going crazy. One of my clients 2 days ago, Katie, God bless you if you hear this, powerful lady, strong, beautiful, all of a sudden this starts happening to her. And she's in Australia. And she starts having beings show up, ancient Indian goddesses and energies, and her head is feeling like it's not there, and she's expanding into the universe, and then she's traveling down into these dark lokas, these dark domains, these hells, and there's all these demons down there. She's having a real Kundalini awakening experience. She tries to, you try to tell your boyfriend, they go, you better go see a doctor. If you go see the doctor, like in this movie that this guy makes, The Awakening or My Awakening, look it up, somebody. I forget the name of it, actually. But he goes to a psychiatrist. And what are they going to tell you? They're just going to think that you're having schizoaffective disorder.
Crazy!
Yeah. And they're going to want to zombify and medicate you to make sure that you're not... feeling better.
And cutting off all those senses, yeah.
Yeah. So, this is going to happen more and more to people. The real spiritual awakening is very different, like I said in the first segment, than going to the Course in Miracles, than going to some meditation group. All those things are great, good, or even doing Kundalini yoga. This particular client I'm working with, her yoga teacher just said, no, you need to go to the hospital. I don't know what's happening to you. Okay? But after we got through working with each other, she's just like, Tobias, I don't feel crazy. I'm like, you're completely normal. It's just that you're having a Kundalini awakening, And she's describing all this stuff. I go, yep, I understand. Yep, that's completely normal. She says, I can't even remember who I am at times. Yep, that's completely normal. Because your id entity, your identity is literally being erased. If I have lapses in memory, yeah. Sometimes my body feels super heavy and like I'll never be able to get up again. Yup, completely normal. Other times my body feels like air, like I'm going to float off the ground. Completely normal. Exactly. This is part of the detox process. Think of how much, when we've been eating crap for 30 years, how much sludge is in your body? All these poisons. Preservative. Okay. Well, if you've been eating energy crap for 500 lifetimes, what do you think that's like?
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden you're going to start detoxing, hundreds of lifetimes worth of crap of held energy, suppressed energy, karma, sins, things you didn't work out, trauma that happened when you got killed for speaking up, blah, 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 heartbreak, a la Romeo and Juliet. All these things are going to start detoxing. Your world is going to get funky around you. It just happened today. Joy is kicked it into higher gear here a little bit the last couple of days about truth-telling. As soon as she did that, her physical reality had stuff show up. See, the physical reality is liquid. There is no physical reality. There is no physical reality. It is just simply energetic constructs that are made by our belief systems, conscious and subconscious. So when Joy starts speaking up finally, she's having what I call those divine setups. Things will literally disappear. You know you put an object over here. You go back, it's not there. Then you come back 3 hours later. Now it's back. Because you are literally time and phase shifting. Okay? You're going to have to get used to a liquid reality. This is how Jesus, Krishna, Babaji, these masters materialize their bodies, materialize objects, because they know it's a liquid reality. Well, if we're yakking about oneness, at some point you're going to have to deal with this stuff too. This is not, the real spiritual path will kill you. It will kill the you think you are.
Yes. Many deaths. Many times.
This is what Jesus is talking about. You must be born again. He's talking about the second birth that he was taught in the Great Pyramid in Egypt. That sarcophagus up there was an initiate's. It also is a time machine. So Jesus went through it, Moses went through it. He went through that initiation. That pyramid was an initiation chamber, amongst other things, where literally the initiate would die and travel the star system through those shafts to Draco, to Alpha Draconis, I forget the other stars, so Sirius. There's 3 major stars I think they traveled through. They would get information depending on where they were from. After the soul had died in that initiation to themselves, you must die unto yourself to let in the larger self. Then in the morning they would walk out the east entrance of the pyramid and stare directly, sun gaze directly into the rising sun over the Nile, and they would rebirth themselves by filling with their new selves the new sun. I am a new son. I am a son of God. See, this all makes total sense. So Jesus went through this initiation actually in the Great Pyramid. He was trying to share this with people. You must be born again. Right? And he's trying to simplify it for the people. Well, when this is happening to you, you may not literally, sometimes the high priest would literally choke and kill the initiate in the sarcophagus, take them out of their body. Now that's when it started to fall. Initially it would happen naturally. In a yogic, Holy Ghost Kundalini setting, you literally stop breathing. Because the energy, your spirit's being taken out of your body, and you're so full of divine life force. This is why yogis can be buried for months underground, because they stop breathing. Because once you're filled with the light of God, I have bread you know not of. I have food you know not of. I have manna directly from my pituitary gland. See, everyone's into the pineal gland. I get it. DMT, open up, see the other worlds. But the eternal life gland is the pituitary gland. The inner food, the inner mana, the inner bread, the inner life force is literally a nectar that drops from the pituitary gland, very sweet tasting, and you no longer need to eat physical food. This is a fact. I know it sounds so far out to people, but this is going to happen more and more and more. Real spiritual awakening will kill you. It will kill that whiny ego you. Yeah. And you will squeal and squirm and wail and gnash your teeth at God and want to kill yourself at times. This is the dark night of the soul. This is not, let's all hold hands and pray and hope the ETs come and ascend our bodies. It's not how it works. It's not how it's going to work. There's no savior coming. There's guides and helpers, just like a good swim coach is going to go, here, I'm going to teach you how to do it. Here's your floaties. There you go. You can do it. Now we're taking your floaties off. If you start drowning, I'll jump in and save you, but I'm not going to be swimming for you while you're holding your arms around my neck. I'm not going to carry you on my back. You have to do this yourself. Yeah. Because you are sufficient unto yourself. So real spiritual awakening is going to have some interesting symptoms. You're going to feel like you're going crazy. One of the favorite things the ego wants to tell you as this starts happening, because the ego is going to start losing its control, its claw grip over your personhood, your soul. The ego has taken over the soul on Earth for the last 12,500 years or longer, too. And when it starts losing its grip, it's going to try everything it can to pull you back, like Al Pacino in Attica. I try to get out, but they keep pulling me back. That's what the ego's job is. It's going to try every trick it can to get you to go back in your box, back into your fear, back into your whiny, fearful, controlling, conniving little self.
That's true. So true. But you heard Tobias say it here. I'm normal.
It's more normal. The big abortion abnormality on this planet is what we call civilization.
Yes. I'm normal.
Nature is normal.
Yeah.
Walmart is completely abnormal.
Yeah.
Nature is normal. Lions following their instinct is normal. Us having hospitals where we resuscitate people for no good reason for an extra 6 months or a year, keep them alive, is absolutely abnormal. Natural herbs, tinctures, noticing what smells good to you, your instinct saying, I want to eat some of that now, that's normal.
That's witchcraft.
Pharmaceutical drugs is completely abnormal. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So, nature knows what she's doing. Mother Earth knows what she's doing. Father knows exactly what she's doing. The rest of the authorities, man-made ego authorities of this planet, I recommend to stay away from, because otherwise you get to be what they are.
Yeah.
Look at who they are. Do you want to become like them? Listen to people that you want to become like.
Yes.
I want to be like nature. I want to be like that innocence, openness, that unlimited energy. I don't want to be like Donald Rumsfeld or somebody, you know?
Yeah. I was talking to a woman the other day, and she was talking about how the gardens we'd be able to grow so much more food if it only was, or because the sun is in our way. The sun is preventing us from feeding people, and if we only could grow things without the sun, then we could feed more people and have more abundance and more bounty, and all these ideas of just how, the sun is destroying everything. And I just, oh my God, it was so hard to just sit there and kind of just smile and, okay, whatever, what can you say? You can't really.
And there, maybe there are beings, the Greys, the creepy little gray alien guys. They do live underground, and they do grow things. What grows underground?
Mushroom.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
Yo, what's up? Check this out. The voice of the revolution. American Freedom Radio. American Freedom Radio.
Or Bashar, or Paris Hilton here on Soul Journeys Radio. Just kidding. Actually, Tobias, since you have been doing a little channeling of your own tonight, the listeners would like to know if you could channel Paris Hilton.
Wait, let me feel it. Oh, that's hot. Touch me there again. That's hot.
Here, have another sucker or lollipop or whatever.
I like Paris Hilton. She's sweet.
Sweet?
She's sweet.
Okay. All right.
I don't know her personally, but she's just having fun.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it.
She is. To me, she is. She's just having fun out there, trying to lighten up the planet a little bit. Who knows? Trying to get away from under the cloud of her family, perhaps. You know.
That is a good way to look at it, actually. I appreciate you for that, Tobias, because most people that like make my skin crawl, you're like, oh, she's sweet. And then you bring up something like, oh, she's just having fun, you know, trying to lighten the load and and yeah, maybe, new perspective. Absolutely.
I think when I feel her as a soul energy, which we can, she feels nice, actually.
Yeah.
Now, the place she's born into and the game she's playing, it is what it is. It's beautiful, but I don't feel any maliciousness with her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can feel that.
And of course, we would get triggered because she's, quote, plastic Hollywood, you know, living in unreal life, all this stuff, and you know, but that's part of making fun of herself. Now, I don't know if that's real or if she's conscious of it, but yeah, so.
Yeah, so if we can get past the media bias and what's put out there that, you know, which is purposefully kind of pushing the boundaries, yeah, I can see that. She probably is really sweet.
That's hot.
That's hot. Tobias, you're hot. I love it when you channel Paris and Bashar.
Do I have to dress like her? I don't know. I don't know if I can do that.
You do, though, silly. Oh, come on. I thought we're coming clean here, and you're going to still pretend you don't dress up like that?
God. No, I've never tried that. Well, did I try my mother's underwear on or not?
That night when we made the baby that's, I think, going to be born this weekend.
I'm going to invite Dr. Freud. Dr. Freud, please. Oh, he's wearing his mom's underwear, Dr. Freud. Look at him. There he is. Oh, Freud, really? You're wearing, what, stockings? Really? All right.
I think you look pretty good in stockings, actually.
It's Freud wearing his mother's slip. Freudian slip.
Tobias is sweet when he's wearing his mother's Freudian slip.
I love that. Those cartoons of Freud and his slip. It's his Freud and his slip.
Yeah, and folks, we're normal.
Mm-hmm. This is the scary part. We're actually normal. Yeah. All those people that are trying to hold this, quotes, uncivilization together and stressing the living bejeebers out of themselves and horrible diseases and colitis and diverticulitis and cortisol levels through the roof and high blood pressure and, you know, cancers and all that. Give it up. Let it go. It's not worth. You're like baling wire and Band-Aids trying to hold the Titanic together. This civilization is over. It is over. It ain't going any further. It is done. It is dying. It is the dying gasps of the grasping claw of the dead old Illuminati. They are going off the planet. It is a done deal. It is over.
I agree.
Feel it. Feel it. It's over. Let it go. Let nature take care of you. Let the new come. Do your passion. Do that which comes up in you. When you're going to go through this spiritual awakening, this looking like it's crushing your life, where your partner leaves you after 17 years. God bless you, my friend in Canada. And you think it's the end of the world. It is spirit. It is your oversoul. It is the most loving thing possible going, you need to move on. They are unequally yoked with you. When you lose your job, when these energies start happening in your body, you have vivid dreams, you have beings appearing to you. You start feeling energies touching you. You start having out-of-body experiences. You might even have physical manifestations or miracles start happening. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
You're going to be scared. You're going to be abnormal to the crazy cult of our culture that wants to really? You like our culture that is, television fed, like Jim Morrison said, right? What is that line from The Unknown Soldier? Television fed, the unborn living, the living dead. The unborn living, the living dead. Can you say zombies? The unborn living, the living dead. Bullet strikes the helmet's head. Do you want that world? Then let it go. Let them kill each other. Let them die of viruses. Let it be over. Ask for the natural world we want. Bless them. Send them on their way. Shake the dust from your feet. Let the dead bury the dead. This is gentle Master Jeshua saying that. Not me. I'm just the messenger of the messenger, remember? Please don't kill the messenger of the messenger, at least. I'm one step through.
Yeah, only kill the messenger.
Yeah. I'm not the messenger. I'm just the messenger for the messenger.
You're the messanger.
Yes, mess anger. Yeah, we've created a mess out of our suppressed anger. That's why we need messengers. The message for the mess age. Yeah. He says, shake the dust from your feet. There are many, many beings in human bodies that are really just slugs nowadays. They're apathetic dead. They will never wake up.
Yeah.
If you think you need to rescue them all, you are taking the horse to water, wanting it to drink. It wants to die. It wants to die. There's a right time to die. What's wrong with death? Death is an angel of liberation at the right time.
Yeah.
We somehow want to waste trillions of dollars on keeping people alive against their will. You want to support that culture? That's insane. So let this spiritual awakening bring you back to real sanity. Let this abortion of a civilization fall away. Let freedom, new energy, let the internet survive. Let a new money system come. Let these energies awaken in your body, that you wake up in the morning, like when you're in love, you have no shortage of energy. Do you ever notice, when you're in love or you have a new project, you're in love with a new idea, a new project, a new band, a new person, you have energy. You get up because you stay up late because you have lots of energy. Well, what if we could allow that energy to start coming to us naturally, these effervescing fountains? You're going to have to do that by cleaning out the old pipes. At the first break, I said I opened a faucet today, had all this old brown, because the pipes are clogged. There's some rust in the pipes. Well, when you're going to have your spiritual awakening, your rusty pipes are going to be cleaning out. And you're going to look a little jerky. You're going to look a little schizophrenic at times. You're going to feel crazy because you're really being born again. You don't think the disciples of Jesus felt crazy? You don't think they had second doubts about, I'm following this nut job master out into the wilderness here, and I left my boat and my job and my fishing, like this. Imagine, Jesus coming to a truck driver at the truck stop and go, just leave all your trucks here. Follow me. That's what he did, right? Wouldn't those guys go, wait a minute, did I make the right decision? Yes. You're going to be, and I'm not saying be irrational and rash and all that. Play the money game, play it wisely, be in the world, but don't let it take you over, So during your spiritual awakening, when it comes, you are at times going to feel caught between the worlds. You're going to feel like you're crazy. My client 2 days ago, she drove herself to the hospital 3 times, saying, I think I'm going crazy, because she had no model for this.
Yeah.
And when she went to the spiritual group, she felt, oh my God, they're talking about it, but they're not doing it.
Yes, exactly.
And she said, this feels even more horrible because it's like torture. And I'm not saying all spiritual groups are like that. And spiritual gathering is good. I do groups, we gather, and I'm a little I play with the energy, which is different. There's two ways of doing spiritual groups. One is information mental masturbation. That's all right. That's good.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
No rules. No rules. No taboo topics. No taboo topics. No fear of doom. No fear of doom. We are American Freedom Radio. American Freedom Radio.
All right. Welcome back. Top of the second hour here tonight. Soul Journey Radio on AmericanFreedomRadio.com with Tobias Lars. He is a personal awakening coach and the author of one of my favorite books. That's Listening to the Sun or Awakening Souls, which you can find at his website, soulcounseling.com or courseofawakening.com. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to give us a call at 218-339-8525. That's 218-339-8525. And if you'd like to join us on the text chat, that's over at souljourneysradio.com. And Tobias, I think you didn't hear my question before the break, but you mentioned that we need to clean out our pipes, and there was a debate going on in the chat if we should clean our pipes out with a brush hog or groundhog.
Whatever suits your particular fancy.
And the streamers are like, what the hell? Sorry, you got to get on the text chat if you want to join in the fun and understand these really, really dumb jokes that I can't help but make once in a while, or at least attempt to. Yeah. So, all right, I'm sorry. We actually have a topic. Okay, so you were telling us, though, that one of your clients went to the hospital 3 times, just wondering, like, what the heck is going on? There was no reference point for what she was experiencing, and I've actually seen situations like that before. It does seem that it is kind of coming up a little bit, maybe out of the blue for some people here recently. So what's going on with that?
Well, because there are galactic cycles. There are energies, just like you go through puberty when you're 12, 13, 14, or whatever happens nowadays. There are shifts in our larger cycles as well. So Earth is going through an upgrade shift as well. Now, I'm getting a lot of feedback from me. Can you hear it as well?
Yeah, I'm getting some too.
Yeah. All right. That's maybe went away. See? Talk about it. There it goes.
Yay!
So we're going through a shift in the energy. It's just sort of, there's spring, winter, summer, fall. Well, there's these cycles for the galaxy as a whole as well. So Earth is entering into a different field of energy, in a sense, a different time in her process, her path, her evolution, this sector of the galaxy. So the energies are being turned up. You could liken it to boiling water. If you boil butter, this image is used a lot, you clarify the butter. The white stuff, some of the impurities or whatever rises to the top, and you clarify it. You make it clearer. A lot of people, we're going to have our stuff clarified, burnt up through us. And during that process, it feels, you're being purged. It's a purging. And this is going to happen more and more to people out of the blue. Like this guy I mentioned about the movie. I can't remember the act. I think it's just called Awakening. But anyway, he describes it out of the blue. All of a sudden, he starts just waking up and seeing angels, demons, spirits, energies. Now, if you've never seen that, and all of a sudden, where you're walking, you see things about people, you start getting opened up psychically, that's going to be freaky. You're going to think you're going crazy. In the past, there were places in native traditions and so forth where the, quote, crazy person, the one touched in the head, the oracle, the shaman, the wise woman, they knew they were, in a sense, a bridge between this and other dimensions. Just like the ayahuasca vine is literally the rope of the dead. The rope of the vine of the dead, or the vine of souls. So as these things are going to happen more and more and more to people, we're going to have more dreams, we're going to have more visions, we're going to have more energetic feelings. We've shut down our bodies and our emotions and our psyches so much. And the opposing forces, if you will, that want to keep the cattle stupid and the people down on the farm will be issuing as many drugs and pharmaceutical chemicals as possible to keep you from feeling these energies. I was just watching something. I was down in Phoenix for a few days, and I watched some TV. There was a show there on now pharmaceutical drugs are a huge addiction problem. And, it's a huge thing. The DEA is involved. And I'm like, at what point do they get that the pharmaceutical companies are actually dispensing death, for the most part? Not that there isn't a time for everything and so forth at one point, but the natural alternatives are much more powerful. Morphine is from heroin, basically, from the opium poppies. Morphine and heroin have their place as painkillers, not as addictive things, Everything has its place, but synthetic chemicals that mess with your brain chemistry, probably not a good idea. That's the one thing, for example, the natural awakeners like ayahuasca and ibogaine cannot handle SSRIs, the serotonin reuptake inhibitors that mess with your actual communications, the natural chemical communications in your brain. They don't like it because it is unnatural. It's messing with the natural system. But it's going to happen more and more that people are going to just have spontaneous, energetic awakenings. They're going to hear some voices in their head. They're going to feel energies touching their body. They're going to feel kundalini rushes. They're going to start seeing spirits. This is completely normal. Completely normal. The awakened human, like Jesus, do you think Jesus saw spirits, angels, and demons and felt energies? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Did he need to be put on, Zoloft and locked up in a padded room? So all you church people out there, when it starts happening to you, these are the gifts of the Spirit.
God, I hope it happens to all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm normal.
That's the normal state. Jesus, Babaji, Krishna, Master St. Francis, true saints, St. Paul, John on the island of Patmos. What's happening to him? Should we lock up John because he sees the book of Revelation? I mean, talk about a crazy mofo having crazy visions and psychedelic dreams. There he is on the island of Patmos. One of my good friends when I lived in Austria was an archaeologist and lived on that island for a whole summer. It's a remote island south of Crete. The island of Patmos is where the book of Revelation was written. Research some of this stuff, people. Get real with it instead of just, it's what I was told in church.
Only Jesus can do it, right?
Churchism is cultism. Churchism is a cult. Churchism is a cult. Yes. Most of all that. So there John is all of a sudden hearing the sound of 1,000 waters. That sound starts happening in his ears. The sound of 1,000 tsunamis, crashing waves. Oh, I better go to the psychiatrist. I am having sounds in my ears.
Oh, man.
Then after that sound of 1,000 waters, he's describing 1,000 waterfalls. How do you make that sound? You can't. When I'm 19 years old, sitting in my science classes and chemistry classes at the University of Connecticut, one day that sound is hitting my right ear. Luckily, I've read some yoga texts that explain that that's the sound, the word that creates the world, the sound of God. In the beginning was the Word. The Word wasn't some yucky printed crap on some tissue material that you collect in a big book. That's not the Word. The Word is the very sound that proceedeth out of the mouth of God's source. That is a loud sound that takes over your ears because you're hearing the cosmic generating humming machinery. We try to copy it when we do the chanting, the Tibetan chanting, the Gregorian chants, but we can't copy it. When you hear that sound in your ear, like John of Patmos who writes the book of Revelation, I heard the sound of 1,000 waters. Thereafter I was taken up in the spirit. He's taken out of his body. He starts seeing creatures. The creature had horns and this and that. There's a white horse. Blah, blah, blah. There's blood raining from the sky. This guy should be locked up immediately. He's going schizophrenic crazy. No. He's seeing into the other dimensions. He's seeing symbolic energy because this is how spirit works. When you move into the other dimensions, you'll see symbolic stuff, and your ego mind goes, that was weird. What does that mean? Well, if you drop into your heart, you will interpret what that means.
Yeah.
This needs to be recognized. So all you cultists, whether it's Muslims or Buddhists or Christians, they're like the Book of Revelation. Read that thing. That's a psychedelic wackadoodle trip. Get real, get real, get real. This is going to happen to you too. He says there too, at the end days, young men will have dreams and visions. Well, what do you think that means? It's going to happen to all of us. So we have to realize the real spiritual awakening is going to dissolve your old idea of who you were and who you are. Your name in this lifetime is nothing. You are an etch-a-sketch. You are a temporary little ego personality. When you leave here, it's of the Etch-a-Sketch, your little name of this lifetime, Tobias Lars Jonsson, born in Stockholm, Sweden, December 20th, blah, 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 raised, went to these schools, I got all these grades, I'm on the swim team, I get all these, the award, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff is erased, goodbye, gone.
Yeah.
One incarnation personality? Are you kidding me? That is gone. So when you start becoming born again, that stuff is going to be like, that's nothing. Get rid of that. This is who you are as an eternal galactic being. This is going to start happening. It is starting to happen to more and more and more people. The salt of the earth, the yogurt culture of the people, you know, the yogurt culture spreads, the popcorn start pop, 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 pop. There's going to be millions of souls popping on this planet. Now, if we give a little hint, because I had read about the yoga, Kundalini, Patanjali's stuff, the effects that could happen, I didn't freak out totally when I started hearing the sound of 1,000 waters in my ear, or when I hear the high tones, the tinnitus that people call it. That's normal. That's messages from the upper dimensions.
Yeah. How do I make it stop?
You don't make it stop. You integrate it. So I'm being direct here. I'm pounding a little bit tonight to get it through that thick ego skull that we all have. This is normal. It happened to Jesus. It happened to St. Francis. It happened to John on the island of Patmos. It happened to St. Paul. It happens to all saints. They all go crazy. They all start seeing into the other worlds. St. Teresa, not the one who fed all the people in Calcutta, but the real St. Teresa had real mystical experiences, that Bernini had that beautiful statue of her being pierced by Gabriel with his lance. Can you say sexual energy? She used to go into, literally, she would immobilize because she would enter the other dimensions and become frozen in time. And the other nuns would have to, like, move her arms down and put her to bed, and she would stop breathing. She would stop breathing and go into a fixed state beyond time for weeks at a time. It's time to get real with these spiritual awakening physical manifestations. As a young man, I traveled to Avila in Spain because I connected with St. Teresa. She had real... Of course, this church at the time said, "You're possessed by the devil."
Of course.
And then they make her a saint. You know, after she's dead and they've tortured the living crap out of her, then they make her a saint. It's the normal story.
Yeah.
You know, so this is part of the deal. As you go through your real spiritual awakening, stuff's gonna happen. Stuff's gonna change. You're gonna feel energies in your body. You're gonna start seeing things out of the corner of your eye.
Yeah.
And the idiot medical world, I'm sorry, the vast majority of them. We have a nice psychiatrist in Ecuador who's been up through the ranks, and he actually likes ayahuasca, and he knows this deal. But the vast majority of that stuff, they don't know what to do with you. So if you go to them, they're going to give you what they know. They're going to drug you up or lock you up. So I recommend not doing that unless, don't do that. It's not a fun experience to go, "Hey, I'm talking to these disembodied, these spirits come and talk to me." "Oh, yeah? Please send security to fourth floor 2B. Yes, we need a couple of security guards."
Yeah.
And they're going to haul you off.
Definitely be careful who you tell. That's happened to me more than once in my life, and most recently I mentioned in passing about a dream, and I was cut off effectively. Not allowed to be my friend in Branson because I have dreams.
So people that this is not happening to, it's like trying to tell anything. If you came and told Galileo, he tried to tell the church at the time, "Look, the sun, we go around the sun. We're going to have to kill you, or else we're going to or lock you up," which is what they did. They just put him on the house.
Or make it work for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you start telling this for other people, and there's so much support now, it's actually a very good time on Earth, because this is going to happen. It's happening to millions of people, that really the cat's out of the bag. We can't suppress it anymore.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
Welcome to the world's meeting place. American.
It's practically narcotic.
Freedom.
Oh, yes. I like very much.
Radio.
You're an American institution.
American Freedom Radio.
Christie, you there?
I am.
Here we go. We're back on the air, I think.
We are?
I think so. So listen, this guy
right,
was...
Welcome back.
Yeah. The movie I was trying to find for people to see about this example of these kind of spiritual awakenings that are going to happen, his name is Jonas Elrod, and the movie is called Wake Up. Wake Up by Jonas Elrod. If you Google or YouTube that, this is a guy who grows up in Georgia and, he's never been involved in anything spiritual. And it's a beautiful movie of him going through this process, thinking what's happening to me and the people he seeks out and searches for a little bit more understanding what's happening to him as he starts seeing angels and demons and energies and auras and spirits all the time. And Oprah had him on her Super Soul Sunday as well. And he's a genuine guy. He's just like, I don't know what's happening to me. What's going on here? And it's a beautiful movie. So Jonas Elrod, I recommend it. Wake Up. So is the name of the movie.
All right.
But this is going to happen more and more. I don't know him, and I'm not, give me a cut, Jonas. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, every single person we recommend here on the show needs to start giving us a cut.
For sure.
Yeah, you too, Bashar. Oh, and Paris Hilton.
Yeah. Just sign here, Paris.
Yeah.
But so this is going to happen more and more, and I know I've been kind of direct and pounding a little bit in this on this interview, but I'm trying to get it through because there's this whole push for making it weird. It is really upside down, that we've made it weird to be a normal human, and we've made it normal to be a suppressed, completely dysfunctional, pill-popping, full of psychotropic or psychiatric drugs and watching TV all day and eating poisons, We're basically eating plastic and aspartame and all this stuff, and we're killing ourselves, and then somehow we've made it weird. I mean, to actually have real spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
So this is part of, you're going to feel...
Mentally ill.
Yeah, exactly. We've made it mentally ill to be normal, and we've made it normal to be mentally ill.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like that saying of, to the crazy, the sane will appear crazy. To those who are crazy, meaning the culture, the cult, the programming of our civilization, the sane, meaning Saint Francis, Teresa, people like us that are starting to wake up, the old program people will go, "You're weird. That's weird." No, you know what? That's not weird. What's weird is that we've actually been programmed that we are these flesh bots that should take these chemicals, and somehow taking poisons is going to fix you. I mean, that's insane. That, I should eat poisons that are made up by companies that somehow pay off the FDA director because he used to be the head of my company anyway. It's no different than Dick Cheney being the head of Halliburton and then starting a war that makes Halliburton billions of dollars. It's insane. It's the fox guarding the henhouse. And so that we trust that authority? Of course we can't trust that authority. And we need to trust the inner authority. So the way we're learning is we're going to be betrayed on every level. The doctors are now killing people. The leading cause of death of people is doctors, or the third leading cause of death now is actual doctor mistakes. And that doesn't mean that most of those people are well-intentioned, but the system is so corroded and corrupt by not actually healing. When you don't, obviously it's nutrition, what you eat, what you put in your body, and, don't poison yourself. Anyway. So during the spiritual awakening, everything that you've thought, like it says in the back of my book, Listening to the Sun, what if almost everything you've ever been told is a lie? All the programming that's trying to keep you from being naturally healthy. So as these natural energies start awakening in your chakras and your energy field up and down your spine, you start hearing voices, noises, the sound of 1,000 waters, the sound of the Amen pouring through your head. As you start hearing that, that's normal. That's you coming back to sanity. That's your pineal gland opening up, your throat chakra opening up. As your heart feels all this love for people, as your heart feels really paranoid and scared because you're purging an old heartbreak, this is normal. So as these things happen to you, and you all of a sudden know things about people, you're becoming what we call psychic or clairsentient, clairaudient, clairsentient. This means clearing up. Clear. Clairsentient, clairaudient, clairsentient is just knowing. That's one of the highest forms. I just know what the truth is here. I just know that about you. Clairvoyance is you can see. Clairaudient, you can hear. But clairsentience, you just know. Some people go, why?
I have another label.
What? Yeah, okay. Some people are like, why don't I see spirits and auras? Well, you happen to know things directly, and you know that's even more powerful. A lot of times, for me, for years, it was, oh my God, here I am with my teachers, and they're like, yeah, so-and-so is there, and here's the spirit coming here, and, I couldn't deny it. I could feel them, sort of. But I would go like, what's wrong with me? How come I can't see them? And then one day you see them, and you go, oh, hell, how can I turn this off? Because this is really distracting me from driving. So be careful what you ask for, too. The universe will deliver what you ask for. If I work with clients that have really opened their third eye too much. Let's open the pineal gland. Let's open the pineal gland. Well, you want to be grounded here. I'm working with a client right now that she opened her pineal gland, her seeing, her remote viewing so much in other lifetimes that she's involved with the whole psychic spying program and the Pentagon and all that stuff. And she's paying for it. This lifetime, she's her friends, her family are involved with that, and she was invited to be involved with it. But she knows I don't want to do it that way. But she's really suffering because in other lifetimes she became a seer, a sibyl, one of the oracles, the visions, the women that were kept. So they used to blind people physically. They would blind their eyes so that their third eye vision would get stronger. That's not healthy. That's unbalanced. So everyone clamoring for, please open my pineal gland, please. You're going to scare the shit out of yourself if you don't watch it. You want it to happen naturally. The safest way is to go with your heart and your belly, your intuition and your heart chakra. The heart chakra leads that which feels right. I want love to guide me. Thank you, Father, Mother, Source, God. Guide me, my angels, my beings, my own higher self, that I awaken naturally. Syd Barrett of Pink Floyd opened up his third eye incredibly. He ended up starting Pink Floyd, arguably one of the most powerful bands ever. They tapped into these galactic frequencies, which is why their music is unclassifiable. Dark Side of the Moon. And then Syd Barrett used to end up just after he did that the first year, opened them up. Beautiful. He's a beautiful angelic God. He'd just end up standing on the stage just playing a middle C, staring off into the other dimensions. He spent the last he couldn't play anymore. Yeah. The dam burst too soon. The whole album, Dark Side of the Moon, is about that. When they actually did the track of The Lunatic is on the Grass, guess who showed up impromptu? With the day they were recording that track, guess who showed up at the studio? Sid.
Oh.
It's a very sad story. So clamoring for opening too soon is not so healthy. This is why a true master, God bless Sid Barrett, he just passed away a few years ago. He was an instinct. He brought that in, but he did tons of LSD. Not a good thing.
Yeah.
You do some, and then you realize, okay, it's a liquid world. Now I'm going to do it for real. Through meditation, through sensing, through opening my own inner energy body. One of the most fundamental techniques is to learn to feel your own inner body, your own inner energies. Basic Lemurian Shiva technique. As mankind fell from naturalness, so you don't need techniques. When you're naturally connected, the dog doesn't need a technique. The cat doesn't need a technique.
Yeah.
A natural human. Techniques are for people that need them. Kriya yoga, special breathing, Vipassana yoga, Zen meditation, sitting, Buddhist sitting, shamanic, this, that, soul retrieval, all this activating soul I do all those things. because we need them, because we are sick. But once you're healthy, you don't need them. So, we have to remember that. So when you teach the basic inner body awakening, most ancient technique, Eckhart Tolle speaks about it briefly, others teach about it. I have it recorded for people so they can just listen to it. InnerBodyAwakening.com. Simple 25-minute, 20-minute, you lay down and listen to it. People have massive shifts, healings. Learning to be grounded in your own internal energy is the only safe path. This client I'm working with, she's on some, SSRIs, and, she's seduced by, I work with the angels, She does. She hears from Archangel Michael. She does work the angel card. She's very intuitive. She sees a lot. But her healing is, and you need to get back into your body. So opening up the pineal gland. I want to open my pineal gland. I want to open my pineal gland. Be careful. Ask for appropriate opening. It's like, what if you didn't know how to swim very well, and I took you out 10 miles at sea and go, I'm going to dump you here, swim to shore, I'll see you later. You're not ready for it. A true master will never give you more than you're ready for. And you're still going to feel, help, this is too much, take it away. If you actually do too much, you can have what I call spiritual casualties. You dissociate, like Sid Barrett. You actually multiple dissociate, schizophrenize. This can happen. It does happen. This is why around cults that aren't working from the heart, but are working with some power agenda, you have what's called spiritual casualties. People that follow all the instructions, they over-meditate. Over-meditating is just as bad as over-medicating.
Yeah.
Unless you're meditating with the full body energy. If you're just doing it in your head, or if you're blowing your heart open too soon, you're unbalanced. The balanced, full-spectrum human is the safe path. Every master does this. They will look, and when I work with people, I'm the same way. So with this client that's really opened up her whole head, I go, open your eyes, let's feel your toes. I want you to feel your root chakra. Let's connect with the center of the earth. I want you to download your consciousness into your body. I want you to feel your fingers. I want you to feel the energy in your body. And she goes, but I'm seeing the angels. I'm seeing Archangel Michael. I go, great. But feel your body. Right? You're here in a human body for a reason. I had a client years ago, a young girl. She kept telling me, I'm from the 8th dimension, Tobias. I'm from the 8th dimension. And I listened to her guides, and they said, yes, she is from the 8th dimension. But tell her now, she's in a human body now, and she better get used to it, or she's going to have a very difficult lifetime. Quit trying to go back where she came from. Be where you are now. She didn't listen to the advice I gave her, so what was her way, her own soul's way of grounding her? She got pregnant. You want to get grounded? Change some diapers for 18 months.
Yeah, that could happen.
Yeah. There's no accident. She kept saying, but I'm from the 8th dimension, Tobias. I'm not used to bodies. I don't want to have bodies. And I tapped into it, and first of all, I'm going, that's irritating how you're saying it. It doesn't feel good. And I tapped into her guides, her spirits, her angels, and they said, yes, she is. She is from here, but she volunteered for an assignment on Earth, and she needs to get on with it. So all this spiritual stuff, I'm spiritual, I'm an indigo, I'm a crystal child. Shut up. You need to go get an enema. That's what you need. Right? You need to get grounded. You need to get fucked. In the other hole.
Yeah, with a brush hog or a groundhog.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
News and information you can trust. This is American Freedom Radio. Freedom, American Freedom Radio. American Freedom Radio.
Our courseofawakening.com are the websites, and awesome show. Fantastic information you're sharing with us here tonight. But we do have a question for you in the chat. It was about using a vibratory energy moving device. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Wrong question. The real question is, Tobias.
A fresh supply of batteries. That's my answer.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and don't buy sex toys from China. But, Tobias, do you feel that we need to do like an AA and make amends to people from the past?
This is very powerful. If anything is, reminding you, triggering you, coming back up, yes, it's like Ho'oponopono. It is what's called repentance in the Christian mystic tradition. All that is very powerful, very healing, very good. I recommend it very much, yeah. So making amends through AA, though I've never been to an AA meeting, or, it sounds silly to say, I know you're supposed to be able to talk about it. But I know friends that have been part of it. And, so it's beautiful to make amends. Ho'oponopono, recapitulation, repentance, those are heavy words for us being programmed by religion. But yes, I apologize, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. The short form of the Ho'oponopono, the Hawaiian, pono means good, pono means good. Ho means to affect or to create or to intend. Ho'oponopono, I intend good. Both sides feel good about each other. Setting things right, back to balance. So yeah, it's a very powerful tool technique. Now you don't have to do it with the actual person. If you can, that's beautiful, but sometimes that's not possible. You can always talk to their soul. You can always speak to their soul, like at night, dream states, or you can actually physically, if you're with people, or you can think of them and notice behind them, about 2 feet behind them, and floating a little bit above them, is their soul, or their assemblage point in shamanic traditions, where their soul is infusing and literally creating, diffusing into the physical body. You can talk to the soul. The soul is permanently awake, always part of the God source state. So even if the personality is so angry at you or dysfunctional that you can't really talk to them, but you can still say it to them, and they may not receive your apology or your forgive you and so forth. But yes, amends is a beautiful cleaning house technique. I recommend it for sure.
Yeah, and if Ho'oponopono doesn't work for you, maybe you could try Ho'oporno.
You're so bad. That's good.
Sorry, I'm stuck on the vibratory energy moving device.
Oh, we sound like sex maniacs. I'm the least promiscuous guy I've known this lifetime.
So he says.
Although what I do at night in my other multiple bodies, I take full responsibility for. I was going to say I disavow all knowledge. No, that's not the correct approach. I admit it. I fully embrace it. I love it. I admit to all of it. Yes, what's your point? I'm a human evolving. What's your problem? I love myself. I love all aspects of myself, even those aspects. I love them too. So it's all good in the hood. Just, yeah.
Yeah, go Toby. Oh my gosh. Okay, wow. All right, having too much fun.
Spiritual energetic awakening. I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just saying there's no such thing as too much fun.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Too much fun between the buns is what the angels are saying. Stop. Stop that stuff.
My bum's having fun. Okay, yes, no. We have a topic. We have a show. Let's come on. Get your minds out of the gutter.
It's like that. It's like that word abundance. If you break it down, what does it spell?
Isn't that called twerking or something nowadays?
If you do abundance, you'll get some more abundance. Angels have fun with this. They've planted the seeds everywhere for our awakening. We've had to work really hard at staying stupid and shut down and depressed and horrified. Now, when I'm saying that, understand that I spent a 3-year period in my life basically where, people thought I was going to kill myself, which I never thought of because I knew that wasn't an out. And I said, if I could actually kill myself, I'd think about it, but you can't. So, because you just realize, I'm already still alive. I can't even do that. Now I have to go back to another body and start over? Oh, that sucks.
Seriously. The cosmic joke.
Yeah, exactly. You try to kill yourself, and God goes, hello, good to see you.
Here you are again. Yeah.
You don't even get a vacation. You don't get the pass go. You collect nothing. You just get these three people or these 7 people or 12 people that meet you and go, hello, we are the greeting committee here. We will be doing your life review with you. Oh, can't I at least get like a couple of weeks off before I have to deal with what happened with my... No, we're doing it now.
Yeah, I got straight from the gallows out into, through your new mom's vagina in a hospital bed. Woohoo!
Well, yeah, exactly. I'm back again. I want to see, that's why I love those pictures of the babies. I love the picture of that little baby with the red and white hat. And it's like, he's just born and he's like leaning down and his really sour looking face. He's going, oh man, I'm back here again.
That reminds me, I posted this funny picture last night on Facebook, and I knew it would probably trigger some people, but it looks like it's like a protest or something, and a woman's holding a sign saying, I didn't come from your rib, you came from my vagina.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, I know. A couple guys didn't really like it that much, but that's okay.
Oh. See, you can't argue with that.
No.
You can't argue with that. And so the truth pisses off the programming, but the truth sets us free.
Yeah.
The truth pisses off the cult programming, but it will set us free back into a natural, beautiful, abundant universe. And I want to say, I know I was pushy tonight, so I'm a little bit harsh perhaps. But Bashar jumped in my body like there in the beginning. It's not my fault. Talk to Bashar. We'll take it up with him.
We're getting bashed by Bashar.
Yeah. So it really, the process at times, it's going through heartbreak. You're going to feel very lonely, likely. This soul awakening energetic process is like a birth. And the birth often is accompanied by fear, terror, sweating, ecstasy, bliss, rapidly happening all within 10 seconds. And so this spiritual bipolarism of you going, oh my God, I feel so good and so hopeful, and the next day you feel like lead, or you're starting to hear voices. This is my client, she told me, God bless you, Katie, if you listen to this, I hope it's okay for me to talk about it. but nobody knows who she really is. So, but she said, this goddess appeared to her and just showed her how to dance one day. And she goes, how can I tell people that this was real? People are going to think I'm freaking out and imagining, hallucinating. And I said, no, of course that was real. That was an old friend of you, or actually an aspect of you on one level, that was showing you how to dance through these energies, how to move through the energies, instead of being stuck in your head and trying to torture yourself about trying to figure out what the heck is happening to me, So there's no way around the detox, but there is a way through it. You are not alone. You're having massive help all along the way, though at times it will feel like you've been abandoned, okay? Because how else do you ask little Johnny and little Susie to go, here's the clarinet, now you need to go up on your own and do the recital. I will be in the audience supporting you, but you got to do it. Aren't they nervous and scared, they pee themselves? Yeah. You're going to feel that way at times too, but there's no other way to learn. To go off the diving board, you got to do it. To get on the bicycle, get back on the horse, you got to do it yourself. But you'll have people around you. You have thousands of angel support guides. When I work with people in soul counseling sessions, they are so supported, but the angels and the guides and your own...
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
You're listening to the future of talk. American Freedom Radio. This is American Freedom Radio.